Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Network Tech Zone. Today in this video, we are going to perform a small task. The task is we are going to configure PC1 and PC3, which you see highlighted in blue color. So that will be configured for VLAN 1. Obviously, we know that by default, the ports will be in VLAN 1, but yes, for our task, PC1 and PC3 will need to be in VLAN 1. And for the one that you see highlighted in yellow, where we have PC2 and PC4, that will need to be in VLAN 2. But when you are trying to ping from PC1 and PC3, you will be able to receive the reply. Okay, but when you're trying to ping from PC2 to PC4, which is present in VLAN 2, the ping results will fail. So let us understand what can be done in order for us to reach the PC4 from PC2 or vice versa. That is, to reach the PCs present in VLAN 2. Okay, so I've just taken two switches here where I've connected PC1 and PC3 for VLAN 1, which is our task. And we got PC2 and PC4 that will need to be configured under VLAN 2. So let's go ahead and configure the IP address first. And for the IP address for PC1, I have 10.0.0.1/24 subnet mask. And here we got 0.2 for the PC2 and 0.3 for PC3 and 0.4 for PC4. Let's go to switch 2. So this is switch 2 and this is switch 3. So on switch 2, let us configure these ports to access VLAN 1. Configure terminal. Interface. So this is the port which is going to the PC. So fast Ethernet 0/1. Switch port mode access. You don't need to actually give the VLAN 1 because by default it is in VLAN 1. So if you want to verify, you can just check using the command show VLAN brief. So you will see it's already there in VLAN 1, and that's our port number, fast Ethernet 0/1. So same way, let's configure access link between the switch and the PC on switch 3. So configure terminal. Interface fast Ethernet 0/2, that's going to PC3, 0/3, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 1 doesn't make any difference. Even if you give switch port access VLAN 1, it will be already taken as a VLAN 1 by default. So no harm. So let's verify show interface brief. Oh, sorry, show VLAN brief. You can see you got VLAN 1 by default, and you have the port number 0/3 is already present in VLAN 1. And let's configure these two ports connecting to the PC2 and to PC4 as a access link with VLAN 2. So configure terminal. So I'm on a switch 2 right now. This is my switch 2. So configure terminal. The interface which is connecting to my PC2 is fast Ethernet 0/2. So interface fast Ethernet 0/2. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 2. So it's creating a new VLAN. So if you want to verify, you can just use the command show VLAN brief. So you can see you have got two VLANs on this switch. So one is for the VLAN 1 connecting to PC1, and you have one more VLAN 2, which is connected to PC2 on fast Ethernet 0/2, and that's what you see here for the port. Okay, so we move to switch 3 and configure fast Ethernet 0/3 connecting to this PC, and configure it as a access link with a VLAN 2. So into configure terminal, global configuration, interface fast Ethernet 0/3, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 2. So we got two VLANs on this switch 3 as well. Show VLAN brief. You can see VLAN 1 for the fast Ethernet 0/2, and you got VLAN 2 for fast Ethernet 0/3 connecting to this PC4. So now, if you're trying to communicate between the PC1 and PC3, let's see if that works. So I'm on a PC1. So we also need to make sure that we have IP address configured. So 10.0.0.1 with /24 for the subnet mask. Okay, and we'll move to PC2. PC2, we got 10.0.0.2 with /24 for the subnet mask. And we got PC3, and we will configure 10.0.0.3 /24 for the subnet mask. And let's move to the last PC, that's PC4. On PC4, let's configure 10.0.0.4 with /24 for the subnet mask. And now let's check if you are if you're trying to ping from the PC1 to PC3. I'm on a PC1 right now, so which is on VLAN 1, and I'll just ping the PC3, which is in the VLAN 1 on the other switch. So 10.0.0.3. You are getting the reply from the destination, and you can see 0% loss. But if you're trying to ping from PC2 to PC4, it will fail. So if you're trying to say ping 10.0.0.4, you can see there is no reply coming from the PC4. That means the packets are failing. But why? The reason why it's failing is because let's understand the definition of what is a trunk first. Let us understand the basics of what is a trunk. A trunk is a point-to-point link between one or more Ethernet switch interface and other networking devices such as a router or a switch. So at the moment, I do not have any trunk between the switches. So if you will check the status of this switch, show interface trunk, there is no trunk. If there is no trunk, that means we just have access link, right? So, and if you have access link, let's understand the meaning of access link. Here in access link, by default, it will carry traffic of a native VLAN. So at the moment, whatever the VLAN that's flowing across the switches is just the VLAN 1, which is our native VLAN. It do not have any information about VLAN 2. Let's run the command show interface fast Ethernet 0/2 switch port. 0/3 is the port connected to the switch. So we will take 0/3 switch port. If you identify the negotiation of trunking, it is on. And the mode is the access mode with a VLAN 1, which is the default. And for the trunking native mode, VLAN 1 is already there by default. So this end of the switch, which is fast Ethernet 0/3, is a dynamic auto with a static access. And same is on the other side. So if both are dynamic auto and dynamic auto, so that will not form a trunk. So we will have to enable trunk. So we will use dynamic trunking protocol in order to make this as a trunk so that the trunk can carry information about multiple VLAN. So that's what the definition clearly says. The definition says the Ethernet trunk carry traffic of a multiple VLANs over a single link. But you have to configure trunk. Only in that case, it will help us in carrying the traffic of both this VLAN 1 and the VLAN 2. Okay. And let's go ahead and configure one end of the switch for dynamic desirable so that by the help of the dynamic trunking protocol, the other end is a dynamic O2 and this end is a dynamic desirable, we will be able to configure trunk. So let's go to the switch 2. Let's configure trunk. Go to global configuration, interface fast Ethernet 0/3, switch port mode, dynamic desirable is what I will choose. Exit. You can see there is negotiation happening here. Let's just wait for some time. Now let's use the same command, show interface fast Ethernet 0/3, switch port. Here you see the operational mode is a trunk and administrative mode is a dynamic desirable because that's what we have configured manually. So of course, access mode is VLAN 1, but if you have trunk, that means it will carry multiple VLANs. Okay, so now that we have configured trunk, we should be able to successfully reach this PC4 from this PC2, that is from VLAN 2 to VLAN 2 PCs. Let's go ahead and try to ping. Let's go to VLAN to PC2. So I'm on a PC2, and the IP address for PC4 is 10.0.0.4. So let's go to, yeah, same IP address. So now you can see the reply that is coming from the destination PC, which is PC4, and you can see 0% loss in packet. So that's all about the configuration of trunk between the two switches. And what we understood is if you do not have configuration of the trunk, and if you're trying to ping between the VLANs, which is higher than VLAN 1, it will fail. So you will have to configure the trunk, and in that case, you can ping from multiple VLANs, but just make sure that these VLANs are not in different subnet. If it is in a different subnet, then you will have to use inter-VLAN routing, which is called, which we use as router on a stick, or you can also use inter-VLAN routing using multi-layer switch. We have covered those topics in the previous videos. I have shared the link in the description box below if you would like to check those videos out. I hope that this video has been informative to you all. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.